The criminal acts against property owned by Keir Starmer, the car, the houses, the arson, is not simply a test of democratic resilience and a case study in how hostile states operate in the grey fog of plausible deniability. It's about trying to piece together what is credible and what is not credible. Between May the 8th and May the 12th, 3 arson attacks took place linked to Prime Minister to Sir Keir Starmer, and a car he once owned, a flat he once occupied, a home in North London he has vacated to live in Downing Street. No one was hurt, but the symbolism is, I was going to say the symbolism is incendiary, and that of course is a bit of a pun, really, isn't it? 3 men now face charges of arson or conspiracy to commit arson with the intention of endangering life. All are either one is Romanian, but all seem to be Ukrainian-born or Ukraine-connected. And of course the eye of blame has turned to Russia. Yet any notion that this this Russian connection is credible, that really is the interest. Is it credible? Is it believable that Russia could be involved? And I think it's highly credible. And the idea that that we have the nationality of these individuals does not excuse Russia, and that speculation shouldn't be dismissed. Indeed, Richard Moore, the head of MI6, spoke last year of Russia's staggeringly reckless sabotage operations across Europe, and since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, European security services have identified at least 60 cases involving cyber attacks, disinformation, bomb plots and arson, particularly arson, often outsourced to proxies, disposable agents, cutouts, civilians with debts, delusions or dreams of espionage stardom. So when the Financial Times reported that British intelligence was considering Russian involvement in these attacks, the Kremlin sprang into its usual pantomime of protest, which I'm afraid only Dmitry Peskov, Putin's press secretary, sneers, London tends to suspect Russia of anything bad that happens in the UK. As a rule, all these suspicions are groundless, unsubstantiated, and often laughable. This is the Kremlin's greatest sleight of hand, to accuse its accusers of paranoia. And yet I would suggest, if Russia finds it necessary to deny involvement so loudly, then the suspicion is no longer just plausible, it is credible. This is the old catch-22. Deny it and you draw attention to it. Stay silent and you let suspicion fester. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. And in this case, Russia be damned. This time the target is the Prime Minister. And this isn't mischief on the margins. As Sir Keir Starmer said, this was an attack on all of us, on democracy and the values we stand for. And he's right. This was a signal, perhaps from a rogue cell, perhaps from a state actor, that no one, not even the leader of the 5th largest economy, is beyond reach. And these attacks were professionally timed. 3 different targets, 3 separate days, yet the suspects have no known motive. And the prosecution has stated that the crimes are unexplained. This silence is louder than any denial. One should remember that Russian intelligence services have used fire before. In Germany this year, 3 men were charged with plotting arson on critical infrastructure. 3 men, and 3 men again now. It's not some sort of nod at Trinitarian equivalence. It's about how the Russian system works. They too were alleged to be linked to Moscow, and in last year's parcel bomb campaign, incendiary devices were planted in parcels intended to explode mid-transit. They failed, but only just so. No, Mr. Peskov, this is not paranoia. This is pattern recognition. And it's all the more alarming that the suspects in London were not charged under terrorism statutes, a legal gap which ought to be urgently reviewed. We should not pretend that the use of foreign nationals makes a crime automatically domestic. The attacks also reveal a significant loophole in personal protection. Starmer may now live behind the barricades of Downing Street, flanked by RASP-trained officers and encrypted lines, but the places where he used to live, they're vulnerable. And as the security expert Will Geddes put it, even when Larry the cat runs around, they know where he is. But you can't guard a house once listed on Companies House. You can't patrol a neighbour's Toyota forever. This is the digital age. Homes can be found, and if addresses are reachable, so too are threats. So why does Peskov respond with such flair? Because Moscow needs to maintain deniability. These operations only work when you can muddy the waters. They rely on implausible innocence and the convenient confusion of proxies. But that mask is slipping. And as more disposable agents are caught in Munich, in Luton, in Kentish Town, the world is beginning to trace the outlines of the face behind the curtain. In a world of strategic ambiguity, it's our duty to call things by their name. These fires may have been lit by hands far removed from the Kremlin, but the smoke rises in a direction we've seen before. And when Russia mocks the accusation, it's not to defend its honour, it's to destabilise others. We shouldn't fall for it. There are plenty of stories out there on the internet that try to provide a reason and a cause and and some sort of sense to this arson attack, and the Russian involvement, to my mind, is more credible than some of the other rather more far-fetched, lurid, and slightly risque scenarios. I do find it interesting that two of the suspects are models or out-of-work models. At least they look good in their police photographs, I suppose. But it seems we have to be really careful about the people who are on the fringes of our society, who face poverty and who are easy prey to the lure of evil regimes